Good afternoon, art buddies, and welcome to Bricolage. This is Pink Girly. My tummy's just a little weird this morning, so I apologize for being late coming on. I don't know how many minutes I'm 4 minutes late. I apologize. So, how is everyone? Candy, good morning. Joyce, hello, good morning. All right, let's see. I'll put this off to the side. Okay, just one of those days, right? Got a little bit of a headache. I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just old age. We'll blame everything on old age. So I'm sitting in my chair last night and I'm thinking about this video I saw where this gal took fabric and she just folded it and then sit it next to each other and just started stitching together. Ooh, it's really going to happen, Candy. That's exciting. Are you ready? So, and then she did like a little quilt square, and then she cut off the edges, and it just seemed to go together pretty easy. Like, I like the look of a quilt, but I'm not somebody that likes to measure or does well measuring things. Let's see, this is a little crooked still. 1 week from tomorrow, not one little bit. Oh, goodness. Well, it'll be exciting for sure. It'll all come together, I'm sure. And so I was thinking, oh, I wonder if you could do the same type of thing, but with paper quilting, not quilling, but quilting. I just think I have all these great ideas. Well, you know what? The same, it's always the same thing, right? There's nothing new under the sun. So I looked this morning, and sure enough, there's plenty of videos where people are paper quilting. Now, some of them are stitching fabric on paper, and they called it paper quilting, which is not what I had in mind. And then, of course, I came across Treasure Books, Natasha. So I linked her below in the video that I watched. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a good portion of it. But she's just, you know what? She's just got it together. This girl, Natasha, she knows what she's doing, and she's clever, and she has a lot of good ideas. And so I put that in my description box, thinking if you were at all interested, you could watch it. It'd be right there for you. So rather than getting involved in a journal cover per se, because I'm thinking I want to stitch mine now. Natasha glued hers, and then I guess she did stitch some of them. But I'm thinking I don't want to run my needle through glue. So there's that. So I'm not quite sure. I had some digitals that I had printed that these were a little too kind of not too intense in color, and I don't know what I did. I folded them right. They didn't work for a project I was doing, so I had some bits. So I took those and I just made some squares and some triangles. And then I just took, hi Marty, I'm just taking a cracker box, and this one's a 6x6, this one's a 5x7. And I thought if I decorate it, if I can get this to work, then I can maybe use it as a topper on top of a journal. Now, Natasha from Treasure Books, she also did somewhere, she did them on a card blank. So if you're interested in making cards or doing something different, this may be an idea for that too. So I just pulled up one of my digitals this morning and then printed off some other things. Natasha used a lot of triangles and squares and rectangles. So she said she doesn't like to measure. She doesn't measure. So I'm just going to see how it goes. Now, Natasha used glue. And the other thing she said is you don't have to stitch it. She had several samples. Like if you watch the video, she had several samples of things she had made to show us. And some of them she didn't stitch. She just used a marker to make what appeared to be stitch lines. And I have a couple of stamps somewhere that probably I could do the same thing. But today I'm just going to fiddle around, see if I can lay something out. And hey, Patty, how are you? Good afternoon. So this digital, oh, I should put that in my, see, I always forget something. This digital, I don't remember who it's by. I'll get it and I'll link it because I really should do that. It's called Quintessential Blue or something like that. And the images are really cool. They're more like kind of like a steampunk, but not a real dark steampunk kind of a look. So this is kind of like a focal point, but I think maybe this is a little too large. So I might end up trimming that. But what Natasha did right off the bat was just work with some triangles. See if I can find any of my triangles. And she just started laying stuff on her base. Now you could use a cracker box. You could use a cereal box. You could use heavy stock, cardstock. You could use boy, I think my triangles are all kind of small. Like a manila folder. You know, you could use, I think you would want to use something that's a little more sturdy. I mean, I would think you could use a regular book, you know, like a book cover, like this. Look. See, I've got crap sitting all around my desk. Oh, now I'm making a mess. Hold on. Okay, you know, just like a regular, this is a Reader's Digest. Why couldn't you just, now you couldn't stitch through this unless you have some kind of heavy duty sewing machine. But like Natasha said, she didn't stitch anything. She just used pieces of paper. So, hey, Ange, good afternoon. Got to get in the afternoon mode. All right, so Natasha had some really big triangles, which I think would be cool, but I don't have that. So I'm just going to work with what I have. Now, this is just an idea. This may not work at all. Been there, done that, right? That's a bit of a flower. So we need to trim that off. So this is also a good way to use up, you know, pieces that you have in your stash. You know how we're always saving little bits of paper? This is a good way to use them up. I need something. Because the other thing I was thinking, like we have had some construction here done at the house. And as a result, I've had to clear off a shelving unit. And so now I'm going through and trying to consolidate. I'm throwing a lot of stuff out. So it caused me to find some things I forgot I had, like a lot of these boxes. So I thought, oh, maybe I could use a couple of those. So what can I do with them? So I'm trying to use, you know, bricolage, trying to use what I have. And I thought, well, if I cover these with fabric, that might work depending on the fabric. But sometimes the darkness of your cracker box or cereal box, you know, will show through. Now, there's one girl, I don't know if it's Twisted Paper. She covers everything with brown paper. My brown paper is wrinkly. I don't have it on a roll. To me, it's an extra step. I mean, I could paint it too, right? Acrylic paint, I could paint it. But I thought if I did this, that would solve the problem. I'd get rid of this, nonsense from the cracker box. Just an idea. So, is it hard to see? Because I know I have a glare. Naked nails today too. Gosh, I'm just a mess today. Now, Natasha suggested, and Dee Dee Willingham does the same. When you get it where you like it, take a picture, because inevitably you're not going to remember where you've put everything. And I think I want some kind of a focal in the center, which might just end up being that. But then I was thinking maybe like an eyeball, like this. Can you really tell what that is? Maybe I need something. Well, see, it's all too busy. I maybe should have gotten some. Oh, look at this piece. That's part of that. I'm just gonna, keep layering things. You want to cover up the cereal box. Now, Natasha, if you watch her, she'll get into symmetry and cutting pieces that all work together like a puzzle. But this is I would say abstract free form. And then you can keep moving the pieces around. Put them how you like. You keep switching things. Oh, this is pretty. Her little face. Maybe I'm trying to think. What do I have that I could print that would give me a solid? I think I need a piece of solid in this tone. I have a digital that I purchased. Hold on, I'm gonna keep talking, but my picture is gonna be still. I'm gonna go to my Etsy account. I have see, I'm running out of space on my computer to keep all this stuff. Now I have more reviews. Oh my gosh, I keep getting where I have to do these reviews for Etsy, and I feel like I do them all, and then next thing you know, I got more to do. I bought one that's background, so let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here. Let's see. Download files. It might just be, oh yeah, that could work. Let's just do this one instead of fussing around and wasting a lot of time trying to decide. Now I just got to put in the right sheet of paper. One moment, please. Ooh, there goes the phone. I think I'm needing a new phone. Hub isn't too thrilled about that. Ooh. So I did get some stuff back on my shelving unit. And I did consolidate some things. So that's good. And I think I've gained a little space. So that's good. But there's more to do, of course. All right, so now, see, I like the way that little, now I could ink these edges too. I didn't even think about inking edges. Oh, good. So okay, Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Sweetheart, good afternoon. Nice to see you gals. Oh, there's Teresa. Hi, Teresa. How you doing, kid? All right, so that background's printing because I think I need something behind. Where's her little face? This, I think this might be cute. And then what I'm thinking is if I use a little bit of glue stick just in the center of my piece, because I'm going to mostly stitch around the outside edges like a zigzag stitch. At least that's what I have in my mind. And I think my sewing machine will go through this thinner box cardboard. Then I think it might look cute on the top of a journal. It might even, I could use it as a flip out, you know, on the front of a journal. And I like these words that came with that. There's several words that come with this digital, but I like this one. There is beauty in the worn, the aged, the time touched. I thought that was cool. So I'll probably cut that up and maybe place that around too. We'll see. We'll see. So if this goes pretty well, now I have a 6x6 I was going to mess around with too, but I'm waiting for this background piece to print. I didn't take a picture. Hey, Cynthia. Hi. How nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. They're so wiggly. They're so wiggly. Slippery and wiggly. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm not sure if I'm coming down with a bug or something. I hope not, because I got company coming. Maybe I'll put that on the outside. So then I'm thinking if I cut a square a little bigger than this, it might make this pop. Just wonder if it would look a little better if I inked my edges. Now I have red thread in my sewing machine, and I've just been using that because I've just it's been a little while now. I've been following this gal. I've talked about her quite a bit, Amity Bloom, and she sells digitals and whatnot on Etsy, and she's got a YouTube channel, and I like her style. Oh, that might help a little bit. And she layers a lot, and then she stitches on top of things, but she always seems to use red thread. It kind of looks cool. Well, that's a little better. And the idea, like Natasha points out, you want to hide, any kind of box, the base of what you're using. All right, this is done. Yeah. See, so I'm just going to cut this out. I did bring my cutter, I believe. Now you could pull from your scrapbook stash. I think you could probably do this with some magazine pages too, if you had anything like that. Let's just see if this is going to look the way I want it to look. Now, what I didn't think about is I could have, if I thought about this, yesterday sometime, it would have been helpful. But no. It's like the middle of the night, I'm thinking about it. put these through my die cut. Use some of my die cuts where I have some, squares, and I don't think I have any triangles, so, and have, pre-cut shapes that are, cut nicely and not like wonky, you know. So I think I'm going to have to measure this. Let's just see, where's my little gal? I think that'll do what I want it to do. So let's see what size this is. This little gal is just about 2 inches by 2 by 2.5. So now the problem is with these cutters, I have a hard time having enough space for the arm to go out. Plus, I have a hard time seeing the numbers. Ugh. Hi, Carol. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. So I said it was 2 by 2.5. So I can always trim it down. Let's put the right glasses down. See, now my boob gets in the way and pushes sorry, TMI. That's 4. Watch me struggle here. Let's do 4 by 4.5 and see. Got to get that arm out. I'm assuming this is, you think a 3 by 3? It's not a 2 by 2 square, so I thought I would need some extra length. Oh yeah, this is real good. Sherry might be onto something here. This is bigger than my whole dang thing. All right, so if I see, this is how Lori does it. If I do that, Marty's here. Marty always seems to catch me. Well, I do struggle a lot. That's not fair to say, I guess. I think that little picture is a little crooked. Oh, now I got to put the glasses up. Marty likes a good struggle. And I'm happy to oblige. Whoops. Oh, geez. Some of my images just went flying. All right, so now let's ink this as well. So Kellyanne's coming for another visit. She's arriving Wednesday. Go pick her up at the airport. And I looked ahead. Now she's headed to Kettle Cove today. And we kind of want to hang at the pool while she's here. And I think the pieces I was using went flying. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good at all. Wait a minute, maybe they're under here. We're going to wing it. This is a flower bit. It's kind of cool. I had something over there. This, if you struggle with things moving and holding them still, this may not be for you. This is a bit fiddly. Joyce, you have a new name? Wait a minute, I don't have the. Oh, this will be more better once I use the glue. Oh, there's Jen. Did I miss somebody coming in? Who did I miss? I missed somebody. There's Jen. Good afternoon, Jen. Joyce, who are you talking to? You talking to Angie or somebody I missed? Gosh, if I missed somebody, I apologize. I hate to miss somebody. All right, so now I'm thinking that's going to go there or somewhere like that. And that's going to go on top. So that doesn't look too bad. This doesn't really look like quilting though, does it? Because I'm using crazy paper. I have other paper, like Natasha was saying, if you have a paper pack, I should go look in my drawer. That's all the paper is coordinated, like mostly like patterns, not like pictures. I think it would, maybe I'll do that on the 6x6. All right, so this is basically what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to use a glue stick. Cynthia says, I have a hard time if 2 or more are streaming. Oh, like a couple of us are on at the same time, like you mean? Yeah, I know. Okay. I should take a picture, but I'm just going to wing it. I'm winging it. All right, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue in the center to just kind of hold it. This may not work, but this is what I'm going to try, because I want to come around and stitch. So I just want enough to hold it so it's not, doing the wiggles. Well, that piece is a little bigger. Oh, thanks, Jen. I hope it works. I linked Natasha from Treasure Books. I didn't link her. I put her information. I put a link in. Because I really thought I was onto something. I had this tremendous idea that nobody else, I'm so silly, that nobody else ever thought of. Yeah, okay, Laura. Okie dokie. Here's that flower. Oh, you did? Yeah, she's so good. She maps everything out. And she does symmetry. I mean, she does her homework. She has a lot of projects she does, and she's got a lot of samples for you to look at, which is cool. I have no samples. I'm just swinging it. I'm just sitting in my chair last night thinking, I wonder if anybody's ever tried to quilt with paper. Now, this isn't the idea I had. I was going to try folding paper and then sitting it next to each other and running the stitches across. And then I looked up Natasha. Well, I looked up paper quilting and decided it might be better if I did something like this. So now, yeah, she always does make a lot, right? Yeah. I'm wondering if I should now like stitch these basic ones down, but then I'll be stitching over top of everything all the time too. So there's that. I think I'm getting myself into a little bit of a pickle here. All right, I'm cheating. I'm going to score this and then cut. Look, I've got some extra there. But it can be whatever, right? I'm just trying to be creative and use up some digitals that I had that, see, now I got that crooked. Not happy about that. Not happy about that. Who are you worried about? Oh, Candy. She's not, sometimes she's not feeling good. She said she's moving in a week. All right, so now this means I have to use my sewing machine. So I'm going to sew around these basic shapes here and then come back and then put my next layers on. See, I got a little bit here to trim. Now, I think my blade, my needle should go through this. Now, I've got that there, but we'll deal with that in a minute. This I probably should have waited on, but we'll see. Okay, I'm just going to be a minute now, just to get some ideas going from your by yourselves. Chat with each other. This shouldn't take me too long. My machine is right here, and I'm using the red thread. So hopefully we can see what's going on. Now I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to try a small zigzag. Now you can use a regular stitch, or like Natasha said, you could use a marker and kind of draw your stitches on. That's an option. I don't sew straight. Whoop. I'm liking it. I have a lot of threads. This is not super forgiving. Oh, I like it. Now, it's not real forgiving because I made a bad cut over here. And you can see the edge of my carton, my cracker box. And I've got a lot of these tails I need to trim. But can you see? Now, if I knew how to use my machine, I could make my zigzag smaller. But I'll have to have my husband show me again. Like, I have it on the smallest setting, I think, but my stitches are still a little wide. So I've got two triangles down here. I've got this big piece in the middle. This is a square piece. So let me trim some of these. Yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. And then I'll do other layers on top of this. Now, I just have it in my mind. I want like a focal point. So here's Kellyanne. I can barely see my screen. So big. So big. Blanket. Hello. Oh, Kell's at Kettle Cove. She's probably got the sun. Oh, Jen, that's exciting. New studio, hon. Ooh. Oh, honey, that sounds wonderful. Ooh. Ooh. It's very warm here. And it's sunny today. Okay. So now I had another triangle piece that I was thinking I'd like to put on top of here. This has some of that flower. So I think that kind of looks. I think that looks okay. Now I think I'm going to line up a piece along here. This is going to be my center, my focal. Now Natasha does one where she just has all little squares, like 2-inch squares, and she just kind of offsets them. That looked really cool too. I'm thinking I want something narrow down the side. See, this kind of looks cool. And then I could just stitch that, right? I got to cut that straight though. Let's see what else I have here. Yeah, I think I like that. So that could go there. Now I have this piece of box here that I need to cover up. It's kind of big. Now see, I should stitch these all in. The ocean is beautiful today, Cal says. Yeah, I bet it is. I kind of like that, but I think these should go, stitch around these individually. All right, so I'm just going to continue with the plan. And just put a little dot of glue in the center. I'm not going to stitch in the center. Just kind of hold that in place. And this guy I want here. But I'm going to stitch around him first before I put this one down. Now this one, I'm just going to ink this one a little bit. Jen, when are you expecting that things will be ready and you'll be able to use your space, your new space? Now I can trim that off after I stitch it on. All right, so now I want to do this one. I guess I could bring that in. I guess I could cut. I think that's a little camera. Looks like a little camera there, but I'm going to lay, or maybe it's a radio. I'm going to lay it on its side because I want to cover that little. Now, if you don't mind, depending on what you have in your mind, if you're doing something like this, you could really use a piece of a washi tape, right? Maybe you have some washi tape that goes with paper that you've decided that you're going to use. Maybe I can bring that in a little bit more. I think I'm going to cheat and do it this way. That looks pretty straight. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put just a little bit in the center just to hold it in its spot. Shush that up a little bit. Now I think I'm going to use a straight stitch on these just to be different. We'll just see how it works. Jen says, I'm working in the space now, but not making a lot of art until it's show off ready. Yes. Going through all the supplies, etc. Yes. That's what I'm involved with that shelving unit we had to clear off to be able to pull it out so the spackler could get to our wall. Okay, so I'm going to stitch this real quick. Well, as quick as I can be. And I'll be right back. I'm going to use a straight stitch again this time. I mentioned, not again, but I mentioned I was going to do it. So let's do it. I think I go too fast. Oh, I like that. It looks like a patch, kind of. Jenny, what are you doing? Don't be chewing stuff over there. Is that where you're stealing stuff from? You need to go get Daddy if you want something. Oh, I didn't do this one. I was busy. Now I didn't do along the edge again because I don't know how many times I'm going to have to sew around the edge. So I'm going to just kind of wait on that. But this time I just use a straight stitch. And then this piece here. Now, I guess you could really stitch around these and just glue them down if you wanted to do that. It's Jenny. We named her Jenny. I think she looks like a Jenny. I know. I keep saying it because my husband keeps asking her questions. And I keep saying, you know, she's not able to answer you. Yeah, he didn't like any of my suggestions at first, so we agreed on Jenny. All right, so this little flower is going to go here. Oh, well, you have Jen, so I didn't know if anybody calls you Jenny. You know, sometimes people, want to be called what they have on their. I got a thing about names, so I have issues. Are we surprised? No, I don't think so. And you could leave some of these strings long, But see, this is my idea. Now, this is probably the same size, right? But this could be a topper on a bigger book. Or, like Natasha said, once you get something made, you can whack it, You can cut it in half. Oh, I see. You made the switch. My husband was Ronnie growing up, and his family has not made the switch. Even his nieces and nephews call him Uncle Ronnie. Sad, really. See, and then I'm thinking this is going to go. Now, I might stitch this together first before I actually stitch this down. I'm wondering if I want that. Maybe I want that flower on top. Okay, Carol. What do you think? So you can see where I'm going with this, okay? So I'm going to stitch this one separately, and then I'll stitch the stitched square down onto my piece. And then I'll stitch this one down, and then I just need to run some stitches here because I didn't do that edge. And then I think this is pretty much finished. Now I could add lace, or I could grunge it up, ink the edges, add some, I might do that, add some gears. I've got gears, that I could put on. And then this can be attached to a larger cover project. Or I could just stiffen this up, and just use this as a cover for one of the journals where you like hinge your pages together with fabric. What was I just working on? Where did that go? But oh, really, Kel? I didn't realize you got the Kelly in. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. that didn't turn out too bad. You struggle with layering? I think just like anything else, it's practice, watching other people practice and watching some little things that they do. It might help. See, now I'm not liking where I have that laying because so I might fiddle around with that a little bit. But this is what it's going to probably end up being. And then I'll add some other things on it. See, and then this side, I'll just cover with fabric or another piece of paper, depending on what journal this might end up being a part of. Now, I also cut a piece of 6x6 from that cracker box. And now I'm thinking, instead of using the digitals, maybe using some patterned paper like a tablet. I'm going to go look in my drawer real quick and see what I have that we might be able to. Oh, I forgot my words. I'm going to put some of these words on that other one too. I like that. Really, Angie? I knew you were an Angela. My real name is not Lori either. It's a nickname for my middle name, and some of you know my name. I'm going to do that because I have that glare. All right, hold on. Let me pull one of my. Now this is kind of a rabbit trail because I wasn't thinking I'd do this. I'm not quite sure what I have left in. Oh well, this might work. Let's see what's in here. Maps, text, and ledgers. Let's just see. Now this is lightweight. This isn't cardstock. You're a Constance? Oh no, Candace. You're Candace. I don't know why I'm having a hard time seeing chat today. I have my contact lenses in. Let's just flip through and see what our options are. So all kinds of grids. Now these are all kind of in the same color palette. Now that's cool. All right, Ange. All right, so there's that. Oh, see, that's cool. See, this is almost kind of like what I'm doing. I could really take this. How about it? Look at this. How's this for being cheating and doing, making it easy? Just putting this on and just stitching around these maps. I could do that. That might be fun. There's you could also pull out ephemera, right, from your stash and stitch on. It just depends on how much you want to get involved with. I think the other thing too is you could probably just glue everything down if you didn't care. If you really watch where you put your glue. I don't want to encourage you to gunk up a needle on your sewing machine. Of course, if you have a couple of needles and you don't care, that's up to you. But I would say, be cautious. But you could probably glue everything down and then just stitch straight across, like say in a cream color I don't know that I would. I guess you could use white. Depends on what color papers you're using. And then like actually quilt it. Now you might have a paper pack that's more coordinated. That's has the same pattern, like in purple and green and blue, and then take a bit from each. That's just kind of nice too. You know what, Jen? I don't know. I am using a needle that's really for denim. I just picked. I am not a sewer, so I don't really know. Kel says a universal size 12 is great for paper. I don't even know what size the denim is. I just figured the denim was heavier fabric, so it would go through paper. I guess you could Google. Now, the thing is, cutting this up in squares. It's the triangles that really, get me. I'm going to just heat a little bit there so I don't have to. I should go get my the spring came out of my big cutter, my big paper trimmer. So I've got to have Hugs, look at it. Hubs look at it. And I did that crooked. The struggle is real. These are bigger squares. It's okay. Now, of course, doing something like this with fabric would be cool as well, right? Now, see, I think this is kind of cool, so I might just cut that out. Okay, maybe a dumb question. Are hand sewing needles used? And no, sweetie, they are not. They are different. They are shaped different. First of all, the eye of the needle is at the bottom. And I don't have any. I could take mine out, but it's like wait a minute. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. At least for my machine. Like I said, I'm not really a sewer. So my machine, the top of the needle is like square or triangle. It's got a flat side that fits up into the neck of the sew machine, and then the needle comes down this way, and the eye is down here. The eye is down there. The thread has to go through there because then you've got your plate down here, and it goes down and it grabs the thread from your bobbin and kind of like weaves it together. And my husband hates that I sew paper with this machine. This is his machine. I thought it was his mother's. He said, "No, I bought that." Okay, back down, dude. All right. This is a different size. This is 3 inches here. Oh, maybe I'll need some longer. Let's do. Now see these, of course, these are not square. But the one thing that Natasha did, she took like 2-inch squares of coordinating paper. Which you could do. You know, like your Graphic 45, how like when you get a paper pack from them, there's usually like your journaling cards, and then they might have other little squares or bits or the postage stamp size squares, you know, stuff like that. If you have leftovers from kind of a paper pack like that, so say these are square, Natasha took these and just glued them together like this. And then she did another set and set on touch. She did like 3 rows and just set, it really looked cool. Of course, it wasn't all the same color. They were coordinating colors for the paper she was using. She's got some cool paper. Well, you don't know. You know, you don't know if this is all new to you. How are you going to know? Especially if you never even looked at a sewing machine. How would you know? Just like I don't know how to make this stitch, my zigzag stitch, tighter together. My husband will come out here and say, you just do this. And I'll be like, okay. I didn't know it. But I'm not mechanical at all. Ah. Yeah, I kept getting yelled at for sewing sewing on paper, and I said a lot of people do it. It's going to ruin the machine. I said no, it's not going to ruin the machine. Take a chill pill. I mean, come on. I'm not sewing through wood. You know, I'm sewing through little skinny things of paper. And there's nobody sewing clothes in this house. You know what I mean? I'm sure it has dulled the needle, but I have other needles. It's just, get a grip, old man. Get a grip, old man. If I wasn't using this sewing machine the way I'm using it, it wouldn't be used at all. It'd be sitting in the corner of the back of the closet. So at least it's getting used. There's that. Look how cool that is. Okay, so now what was I going to do? Yeah. This is from a paper pack. See, this would be cool. Cut out all the bits. It is. Oh, I'd be not. I really would like a heavy duty sewing machine. That's also something I got poo pooed on. You don't need another sewing machine. Because, see, I would like to make bowls like Angie makes, but different. I like to make mine out of rope like this. See, I have one here. But see, after I get started, my machine goes crazy, and it won't sew through the heavy rope. I mean, it's not super heavy rope, but you know, it's heavier than like cording or whatever you call it. Teresa's back. All right, so I'm not sure. Okay, so this says postcard up there. This is a really big piece, as you can see. I didn't do a, maybe I want to do a triangle here. There's probably a better way to cut a triangle. But you have 3 sewing machines? She's not sure why. I keep thinking the next time I'm in a Goodwill and I see one, guess who's coming home with it? Oh my gosh, my husband will have a cow. But I saw one for $25 years ago that I picked up for my daughter because she's a school teacher. She has 2 young children. I thought she's going to be making costumes and there might be other things that she, for 25 bucks, I'll just get it. So I think she has used it. I don't think she uses it much. She's not like me at all. My son is like me. He's more of the craft oriented. Teresa, you have 4 and you don't use any of them? Oh man. Yeah, I want a heavy duty one that I can stitch through. Like if I wanted to make a tote bag or, things like that, I would like to be able to stitch through heavier stuff. See, now really in 2 pieces, we've got something going here. All right. This is a little off. What did I do with those? Yeah, let's see. Now these have to be zhuzhed a little bit. I don't think I have enough. I didn't realize Kel knew so much about sewing and sewing machines. Maybe you need to look at my machine when you're here, Kel. I don't think mine has enough space under the foot, for thicker things, like doing a bowl. It's so cool how they do those bowls. Now, see, you can't really see this so much, but I might just want it like this. This still really isn't like what I wanted. This isn't the right kind of paper. I have some paper in the other room. It's more like I'm going to just go get a stack of paper, just so you can know what I'm talking about. I think I'm probably going to do something with this here on this one. But just hold on one second. Well, it's going to be more than a second. I move slow. I think my tummy's feeling a little better. Let's see. Let me do this.
Except a week too late. Got it sick a week too late.
Not sick, a week too late.
Yeah, remember I told you I had a fiber clinics thing last week?
Oh, yeah.
I said this guy would work. If you get a bunch of small like cactus needles in your hand, put on white glue and let it dry, then pull it off. That probably would work. Yeah, probably.
All right, let's screen. Okay. Like paper like this. I know a lot of us have paper like this. Hold on. This is some old stuff I've had around a while. I don't know if you can even see. See, it all kind of coordinates. That's a little stripe. I still didn't bring it all. And then I had some, I don't know what, I guess I didn't pick up the whole stack. I had some that was, there's purple and there's an orange, but it's all like works together. So, you know, you could cut up something like this if you had. So like Natasha said, the idea is to use what you have, right? Then I was thinking about painting papers. You know, some of us have papers that we, you know, when we're fiddling around with the jelly plate, my grandmother had a treadle. I don't know what we did with it. I don't think anybody wanted it. Janet Nash has a pretty old one, right? Hers is cool. So then I was thinking about pulling out some of my painting paper. I'm using some of it. Now, I'm not ready to cut any of this yet, but same thing. You could cut, cut different squares. Now I have this one. You know, that's cute. Hey, Carol. See, I have this Martha Stewart. But it's not a square. It's, I wonder how that. Now these are small. See, there's always something else I wish I had, like a bigger punch that was just squares that weren't necessarily scalloped. These are scalloped. This is a little brighter. And I don't even think I have regular squares in my any dies. They're all like shaped different. They've got a little twist on the corner. Your new machine looks like Janet Serafina. She has one she named Serafina. Oh, that's the one I was talking about? She's so cute. I mean, I have tons of this painting paper stuff, right? Like, am I ever going to use it? Probably not. I kind of always forget about it. And I kind of think it's like kind of ugly. But see, when I go back and look at it, it doesn't look so bad. Let's get a piece of, and then you can mix and match. There's always mix and matching. She named her machine after my great-grand. Oh, that's your great-granddaughter? There's that lady that does the felting. Her channel name is Serafina. Oh my gosh, she does beautiful stuff. All right, so let's flip this over. Maybe we could see it better. Now, yeah, this had I don't know where the other parts are. This is a Martha Stewart, but I have several things. They all magnetize on there. It's pretty cool. So Natasha had some kind of a nicer background, whether it was a tablet or a book or a journal maybe she bought and she wanted to jazz up the cover. But what she did was she took her squares and she glued 3 together, maybe like that. So she glued them together and then she did another set. And she kind of went a different direction, which this is a struggle for Lori to do this. And she probably had more color choices. And then she did another row. Did I not cut out enough? Oh, silly, silly me. Silly, silly. I need one more. One more square. I had to put an asterisk though, because there was some kind of a mark so I knew which way they always clip together. Because I would struggle. Oh my goodness. Everybody's got a crazy amount of sewing machines. So you can even do something simple like that. Now you may not want to stitch around each one of those, but if you did them in strips, you could, or you could come in with, like, say, your Sharpie pen, and do it and make it look cool. Cool. See, now what if I... Bum, 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 bum. I mean, that could, this could work. That looks kind of cute, right? That doesn't look bad. I have stamps that look like stitch marks, but I think they're a lot bigger. But you could stamp it before you put it on. So there's lots of different ways we could go, right? And like I said, and Natasha says the same thing, you don't have to have a sewing machine. You don't have to have 3 sewing machines or 4. And you could probably design a bunch of something like this to put on your Cricut, do on your Cricut. You could do the Cricut Joy or whatever you call it. I could use that big sheet there. And then I could do this. You know, and then come back and trim. It doesn't have to just be squares either. You could do circles. Look, I got a circle punch here. Sometimes it doesn't punch out that great because the paper's kind of thin. So if you know that, you kind of put something heavier behind it. I could add circles. Let's see if I can pick this up. Now, if I was going to do this and sew it on my machine, I would probably sew around each square as I put it down. But I'm kind of liking that. Okay, Jen, nice to see you. Oh gosh, let us know about your room. You'll post, right, when you're ready to get in there? Love to see it. Have fun. Have a good day. I think I might just go ahead and stitch this on. Let's see. I'm gonna, oh good, she'll be posting on her IG account. Cool. Excellent. Excellent. All right, so I want to cover the ucky side. And I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little dotted glue towards the center. Now, one thing that Jacqueline does when she's stitching, and I don't know if she saw this, somebody else did it, but you just stitch around with regular stitches, and then you come back a second time around, and you go whoop, 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 and make a lippy, just kind of loopy kind of stitches around. I'm going to do that because I think it looks really cool. So I'll be back in just a few seconds. I'm just right here. And turn my machine back on. My machine gets really hot fast, so let's turn it off. Now my stitch is really small. I don't know why. I'll make that a little bigger, maybe. Rewind. Now, I'm always envious of the girls when they show you how to make these real cool handbags, or an apron, or they're stitching and they just zip things through their machine and they just turn it and it moves and it twirls real easy. I would love a machine like that. I don't know what kind of machine does that. But see, this is what I'm talking. I went around first with just a regular straight stitch. And this is a straight stitch too, but then I just came out, went back in, came out, looped, just did like little loop, loop, loop. But it's cool. I think it's cool looking. Let's see. Okay, that's my offcut piece. Now I could do this too, I guess, just like you would do a ruffle, I could just line these up and just stitch through them. See how I like this. Now I want to make sure I'm covering the cracker box. That's not a machine. That's a peacock without a presser. Geez, Kel, you've got hidden talents. I thought a peacock was a bird. Okay, so I could go like that. I'll have to pay closer attention. I thought what I was looking at had the presser foot, but I'm sure you're right. Now the hard part about this is, oh, that's not a machine. That's practice without a presser foot. Not peacock. I thought it was a special term. Or the feed dogs are down free motion. Oh, so it's just like a free form kind of a thing? Now I'm wondering, I don't know that I want this on here. There's Vale. Hi, Vale. Good afternoon. I'm watching on the TV. Oh my gosh, she's watching on the big screen. Just popping in to say hi. and to send love to you and everyone there. Oh, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to stitch down, or attempt to. Nobody breathe. Oh, my fan's on. Not good. I lost it. Lost it. They're blowing all over. And Hub's let the dog out, and she's sitting here. All right, I gotta readjust. Ron, our dog is ready to come in. She's uh-oh. I busted my thread. No, I'll fix that. I'll fix that later. But you can pretty much tell what's going on here. So I think my tension's a little too tight. And this is the other thing. It's like, I don't touch any of that stuff. And then just things start to happen. See, now my thread busted, and I don't know if you can see, but it almost looks like little dots because it's pulling up from the bottom. So my tension is off. Oh, he's outside. So I'll come back and do that little part there. Ange, breathe, breathe, breathe. So that's got to go on there somehow. So I've got to rethread my machine. Now, I guess I could leave that, that way if I wanted to, but they would get bent and probably be annoying, 3 more days, Kel. I got lots of work to do before Kel gets here. I made a lot of progress yesterday, but still got things to do. Anywho, I just remembered what I wanted him to get at Walmart. Oh, well. Kel, we'll have to maybe go shopping. Anywho, so that's not too bad. And this could go on a cover. And then again, like Natasha said, I could cut this in half and then stitch along. I make 2 pieces and make a really small journal cover. So there's that. And then where's the other one I did earlier? Here we go. This one I didn't finish either. So I'm going to stitch. This is going to be my little focal point. So I'm going to stitch these 2 together, and then I will stitch this down. And we'll just run to the Walmart. And then I can stitch around that part, see? And then I need to do a little more stitching here. And then I think this will be pretty much done. Hey, Amy, hi. And then I have, gears. I'm just trying to see if they're sitting here. I think I have them over on my cart. So I could glue little gears down or buttons or even little flowers, whatever if I wanted, and kind of jazz up that cover a little bit, kind of maybe bring it home, ink the edges. So I'm well pleased with this. Actually, I like both of them. So this kind of almost looks like fabric to me. Maybe what I'll do is I'll punch out some more and add some to try to match this overhang to give them a little more stability, and maybe leave them. So I kind of like them. Now, of course, these are all loose, so maybe I should add some glue. But I'll think about that. And then I have to see, how I can use it. And then this is easy to cover up with a piece of fabric or another piece of paper, you know. All right, so that was my thoughts for today. I'm going to definitely add these words because I like them onto that one. And so I probably will just fiddle around here at my desk a little more, and then I'll get up and go finish up what I need to do to get ready for our visitor. 3 days, 3 days. So I'll let you know what's going on. Kel and I might stream together, or maybe we'll just be having such a good time we won't stream at all. Maybe we'll just stay in the pool till we get all pruny. All right, so have a great afternoon. Yes, a journal topper. Right, Sherry. That's what I was thinking. Sherry says you can tuck fabric squares under the paper squares. Oh, that's an idea too. Oh, there's Angela. Yeah. Kathy, Cal sent me that delicious quilted stuff. I just moved a bunch of it off my desk. But wouldn't that be yummy? Look, I've got some squares here. Squares? See, I could do that. And then it would really look cool and raggy, huh? Just an idea if you want more of a quilty kind of a look, which I don't, this one doesn't really look quilty to me. But I like it. Now, when you watch Natasha's tutorial, you'll see how she really gets a quilted look on several of her pieces. But I think it's largely the paper that she's using. And then if she does some where she's really got the symmetry going, where it's the same corner to corner, just my brain, I'm just, I'm just not interested in that. I mean, I like the look of it, but I don't think it would be an enjoyment for me to create that. This is more my speed. So different strokes, right, for different folks. So just an idea. Oh, look, here's my other square. Just ended up over there. All right, that's it for me for today, kids. So hope to be on Tuesday evening at 8:30. Don't forget, if you're watching for the first time, I would love to have you subscribe. Hit that button and hit the bell so you don't miss anything when I come on. That would be great for me. My number's going up slowly but surely. The more, the merrier. Yes, we're going to go to the pool. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. There's certainly things to do later today on the interweb and YouTube. There's some creative things. Cal, you be safe there at the Kettle Cove, okay? And yeah, I'll see you all soon, maybe Tuesday evening. That will be fun. So I'll have nails on by then, for sure. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. Until next time. Bye-bye for now. You got to get the little mousey mouse. Toodles.